Hi guys. Okay, let me just set the camera. I think my camera is properly visible here. Okay. So it is still a little crooked. Okay, looks like the camera angle is perfect now. Hi everyone. Can you all see it properly, like with proper orientation and everything? Just drop a message that yes, it is visible with proper orientation of my camera. Hi Alona, hi Hina, hi everyone. I'll try to say hi to everyone. And let me just go and see if I can see everything properly. Okay, I can see the comments here. So hi guys, so I have Nathmal here with me and she's gonna be modding this particular segment of live session. And I'm so excited to see all of you. I see so many people. Just drop in, say hi, and just let me know which country are you watching from. That actually makes me very happy when I get to know that everyone is watching from all around the world. So Nathmal, thank you so much again for modding this. And today we will be doing this beautiful tag. Not sure. Can you guys see everything properly, like in focus, like the tag? Let me just make sure that everything is perfect and in focus. So I will quickly, I'm just going to quickly wipe my lens so that I'm 100% sure that it is in focus. Okay, so looks like it is properly in focus. Everything is visible and we are gonna get started in just like few seconds. So okay, so guys, today we will be okay, so we will be making this beautiful tag, and one person commented that I should get closer. Okay, so I think this should be fine. Okay, so in live sessions, I think the camera orientation is the toughest part for me because as I speak, I'm seeing myself live and then there's a lag, so I can't exactly see where it is. So we'll be making this beautiful tag card, and it has been made using this collection called Surfboard, and you can use any collections, any of the collections. It's very simple, very easy to make, and all our collections, they go well with this kind of mixed media layouts. So my question to you guys is, I give you an option. Do you want me to make exactly same tag using the same collection, or I'm giving you sorry, just let me make sure that camera is again, because I see some comments. Okay, so Nathmal, I was just chatting with Nathmal and I asked her if the camera and everything is fine and everything looks perfect. So my question is, do you want me to make the exact same tag using the Surfboard or using some other collection of ours? I mean, I can get started with any. So just guys, type in your comment. I'm going to wait for like 20 seconds and just let me know, because I want this to be an interactive process where you guys tell me that, which collection you want to see. So I can make something similar using Pretty Mosaic or Surfboard. The choice is yours, guys. So I see one girl telling me other, please. So pick Pretty Mosaic or Surfboard. I can pick any, and I'll show you how easy it is to make beautiful gift tags, no matter which collection you have, and no matter anything which you're using. Like, I mean, all it depends is, how you are channeling your inner creativity. So how about we do something different? Let's pick up Pretty Mosaic because we already have one in Surfboard. So one thing which you'll notice here in this tag, always have one focal element. So whenever I make a tag, a card, or a layout, I always have one area of focus. Your focus area should be just one particular area. It should not be all around the page, because when a person is like seeing your creation, his focus should go on just one area, not the entire page. So you can see that there's one tip and trick which I'm going to give you guys is have one focal area in your creation. Okay, so now we're going to get started with Pretty Mosaic, and the first step is creating a base. Okay, so for the base, you can use your trimmer or simple ruler and scissors. You don't need to have fancy supply, guys. I always insist on this. You can make beautiful creations without any fancy tools. Yeah, and like Nakmil said, primaflowers are always the focus. Okay, so you're gonna need a cardstock. Like, it can be of any depth, like any kind of thickness. Like, it can be even thin, because as it is, we are going to be layering, and when you are layering, you don't need to have a cardstock which is very thick, because when you're layering, already these papers are very thick. Our Prima papers are like super good quality, so once you put on the cardstock, they look really good. So I'm gonna just take one of this and get the depth of this particular get the width of this particular tag, because I want exactly same. And the thing is, I'm a little hazy today, so in case I jumble up words, guys, please accept my apology in advance. Okay, so here it is. Let's chop this. Okay, and we see this here. It's a little less match. Let's chop another one, and I think the measurement says 4 by 6, so let's just go with 4. And as it is, the length is 12 inches. So once we fold it into half, it's going to be of perfect size. Okay, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this into half. Now the next step would be selecting papers. So as you can see, this is a perfect size. We will be selecting papers, and then we will be adding them to the we'll be attaching these on the top. Okay, so let's select the papers. So this looks like a very pretty background. So I'm using journaling cards from Pretty Mosaic, and one thing which I really like about our paper lines is that they come in different sizes. So there's a size for each purpose. You want to make cards, you have 6 by 6 and this journaling size. You want to make layouts, your albums, you have 12 by 12 and 8 by 8, as well as A4 sizes. So, when you cut, if you have a 12 by 12 sheet and you're trying to make a card out of it, half of the paper goes to waste, and it really breaks my heart. I don't know why, but even with so much of paper and working with the best teams and everything from past 10 years, still my heart breaks if I waste my paper. So I really love the fact that we have multiple sizes in all the collections. So I'm gonna choose this particular paper, and how we're gonna go about it is, this is going to be my front, and so quickly let's stick this and make sure that our size is perfect. Yeah, size is perfect. So I'm gonna stick this, and you can use your ATG, you can use your normal glue, school glue, glossy accents, anything, any kind of adhesive would do. This gun has been with me from past 10 years or something. There are few tools. I would like to know, guys, comment down which is your oldest tool and how many years you have been with. Okay, so I have this particular thing ready here with me, and let's select the insides. This looks good. This can be on the back, right? So I'm gonna stick this one. And let's do the insides now. So for insides, I'm going to look for something which is already in vertical orientation like this. This is perfect, right? You can write a message here. It looks like a design itself. Like, I mean, so beautiful, right? Okay. And here I am going to add this one here and just one more on the top, and that would complete our process of making the base. So what should be on the top, guys? There's such pretty designs. Like, I always get confused what to put and what not to put. This collection is my absolute favorite, and I'm gonna put this one. It gives a nice contrast. So guys, can you all hear me properly? Riddhi, Natmal just messaged me that the sound is not to my iPods. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, can you hear me properly now? Perfect. So Natmal has messaged me that the sound is good now, so I am not worried about it. Okay. So guys, I am right now just creating the base for my beautiful tag card. We have made one using a Surfboard collection. I'm gonna make the next one using the Pretty Mosaic collection. And now, before you guys get started, now you have to de-stress the edges. This is the most important part. Excuse me. Okay, so de-stressing, what it does, it balances out. You see these edges, like the white space? Look at this side and look at this side. This one looks better, right? Because we have de-stressed it, so it kind of helps in blending the edges. Okay, so and here we have a perfect. Now my next step would be preparing the base, like of the actual area where I'm going to work, and for that what I do is I put some clear gesso. So this is my clear gesso by Finnabair Art Basics by Prima line, and absolutely in love with everything which is Prima. The quality is superb, and everything. Like, I remember using other brands when Prima, like, this is like back in 2011 or something, when there was no mixed media line by us. And after that, when Prima launched their mixed media line, and once I started using it, there was no looking back. I like my bottle of gesso from Liquitex and modeling paste from Liquitex is still in my shelf, 8 years old, never been touched. After once I started using these products, they're like super good quality. So here we have a piece which has a clear gesso on top of it. This would help me in preventing the actual color of the background, because I don't want the actual color of the background to be compromised when I do spraying and misting and all those things. So I'll quickly go and just dry it before moving forward with anything else. Okay, so this dries up pretty quick and this gives a nice, very, uh, okay. This is pretty good. Like, I just got another comment which says that the camera is not at the center. Okay, I am having a little bit of trouble now. Okay, guys, I'll just continue because it's impossible to fix, because I can see the live video and I can see it clearly, so I hope it would work. I'm so sorry. So this dries pretty quick. The clear gesso dries pretty quick. And the next thing which I'm going to do is apply some texture paste, which is the white Crackle texture paste, and this cracks up the layout at different places and it looks absolutely beautiful once it is dry. So let's go forward with that, and I'm going to take my knife and I will just apply it like this, and you can see already the background has a nice cracked effect, so this would perfectly blend with what I'm trying to achieve here. So here, the thicker layer of paste you will apply, the larger cracks are going to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and just quickly dry this up. So one thing, so two of my favorite pastes from our line is texture paste, which in white Crackle, and the paper texture paste. The reason I like both of them is because they dry very quickly in comparison to other, and they have a beautiful texture. These are like always in my staple, like I always have extras of these particular pastes. So now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stencil, and you can use any stencil, like any kind of stencil which you have. It doesn't have to be this particular one. I don't even remember which line this stencil was from, but yeah, we have some beautiful stencils out there by Finnabair, which were recently released. If you guys want, you can check that out. So my next step is that I'm going to apply this beautiful texture paste to give my piece a nice texture, and let's put it inside, and this is how the texture comes out. And after that we're going to start decorating everything on top of it. Okay, so now next step, always guys, always these all are dry, so I'm going to use a different batch. Make sure that you wipe your stencils. Trust me, our pastes are really good quality and they dry very fast, so make sure that you dry them, because these pastes, they don't get off that easily. So I always make sure that I wipe my stencil and everything, because I would hate to spoil any of my stencils. They're just super pretty and they're hard to find. They get sold out so easily because they're so good. They get sold out very easily. So I'm just going to take some water and sprinkle. Usually I go to my wash basin and clean it, but given that this is a live, I'm not gonna get up and wash it, but I think this should be good. I can rinse it again later, but this should be suffice for the timing. Okay, so this part is done, this part is done, and now the next thing which I'm gonna do is dry this one out. It will dry very quickly, guys. You won't even get to know. Like, just count 1 to 50 and it will be dry. It will be done. Okay guys, this is dry now. I'm sorry I got interrupted. There was a call coming on my phone. So yeah, that's a dream to have like a small sink in my craft room. Right now I don't even have a craft room. I think it's a little wet yet, so I'm gonna try it again. Okay friends, this is ready and we're gonna get started with creating our basically pasting all our elements. So now the next step which I'm gonna do is I am going to pick two colors to add a little hue of it, like a shade of it. So let's pick this green color because this would go very well with this particular color. And the other one, let's pick this one. Actually no, this is too light, so let's pick something contrasting. This would look good, like gold and green and pink, right? So I am going to open my paint and I am just going to paint. So for painting this, just dab your brush with water because we need a lot of water. Just add it like this. It's mixed media, so nothing has to be in the lines. Like you don't have a specific rule that you have to follow. Just take some water, spread it, and the paint will spread very beautifully on its own. And I always have a tissue. I dab the excess like this. Okay, once this is done, I am going to take some gold and add some gold on the corner like this. I have added a lot of water to my paintbrush. That helps in diluting the paint. That's amazing, Debbie. I'm glad that I could make you fall in love with this pretty collection. All our collections are super pretty and so well coordinated. Our product designers are really, really creative. Okay, so now we have the paint on it. Let's give it a quick dry and before we move on to the next layer. So guys, this layer is done and now we'll move on to our next layer, and that is basically adding this piece. So basically what I generally do is I always use my small journaling note cards for creating small paper layers behind. Let me see if I have one for Pretty Mosaic. I can't seem to find my Pretty Mosaic layer of small pad, so I'm going to use this 4x6 pad. So let's pick a color which is a little contrasting and will elevate the whole thing. Actually this looks nice. We can use this, and then on top of it, when we use our Pretty Mosaic flowers, they would look amazing. Yeah, the shades would look really good. Okay, so I'm gonna just simply take this and chop this into two parts. And now to create something like this, I will just use my hands and cut it. Once I've cut it, I am going to de-stress this. So like guys, I was telling you about my tools. Oh, okay. So Dahlia, you're asking us what is the difference between sparks and metallics. Metallics have a very metal-like effect, and sparks, they shine. Like I can show you a small swatch right now using some metallics and sparks, and then you can see the difference. Okay, here we have, okay guys, so I have these two small bits of paper which are ready, and I am simply going to de-stress them, and after de-stressing them I will add it like this. So this creates a nice center point. Luckily my glue gun was on, so I won't have to wait for it to dry up. Okay, let's see. Yep. And it's going to show up from the side because we're going to be covering it fully. And here we have this. So these two portions, they are in the center. And now let's move on to the next step, that is selecting some chipboard. So one of the chipboards which I'm going to be using is this. I'm not sure where it came from, but I do have this from a very long time. It was just there in my stash. And another chipboard which we can use for this particular piece. So I can't seem to find any good chipboard right now. Okay, we can use this one, or we can always use our wonderful molds. I think I'm gonna go forward with the molds, and I can show you guys how beautifully our redesigned molds and our Prima line molds, they blend with our mixed media lines. So let's pick. So we do want something to pop like this from the top, and because that looks really nice. When we create a focal element, it's like two things. It's like an elongated structure which draws your attention. The next one which I'm going to use is, I have so many of these molds, so you guys can see it here. Like I generally make them and keep them in batch and then use them as I go, and I keep on refilling this particular box very often. You'll see me very often refilling this box. Okay, so maybe this can look good. Actually what we can do is we can chop this into two parts and put one here and put one here. Okay, or just we'll see how we're going to do. Okay, so the next part which we're going to do is select the flowers which we'll be using. Okay, so this is our Pretty Mosaic flower collection, and I have a lot of flowers from the collection which I've used, so that is why I've kept them in this packet. But in case you want to see the entire collection of Pretty Mosaic flowers, I think I have it somewhere over here. Okay, I can't seem to find my new collection flowers. They were somewhere over here, but you guys can check out the website. But all our new collections, they have beautiful flowers. So now the next thing I'm gonna do is select my select the flower which I'm going to put in the center. So I'm thinking to make this as the center point, something like this. If you see, they all coordinate very well. They look very well, they go very well together with each other. Let's see if I have some different flowers. So this is another pretty mosaic flower, which but I think they all are too big. I really like this, and we're gonna build on top of it once we get there. So the first step is coloring these two, and I'm gonna be doing embossing powder. Like I'm gonna be doing the embossing technique on top of these. So fairly simple. I have embossing pad, and I'm going to dab this like this, and let me dab it again. Okay. And the next step would be choosing my embossing colors. So because I'm going to be working with Pretty Mosaic, it has beautiful maroon shades, so I use this color. And here's my embossing tray. So just simply push this like this, and take your tweezer and put it like this. So this is embossed, it looks gorgeous, and I'm gonna put this color back to where it came from, the excess powder, and let's go to the next one. For the next one, I have taken a little different shade, and this particular one I'm gonna dab it again with this, and that would give it a nice shaded effect. Here, let's dry both of them now. And let's put this back. Okay guys, so this part is done now, and now we have two of our pieces ready to go on, and we're gonna put one of them like this and the other one like this. And the next step is creating my focal point in the center, which will be something like, let's pick this one, something like this. So pretty much similar, just different collection line. So to make this one raised, what I do usually is I take a chipboard and I chop it, and I create a board out of it, like a small raised dimension out of it. So here's a small piece of chipboard, and I am going to cut it into parts. I'll create a raised dimension here, and I just will simply put this like on top of here. And once I do this, before sticking it, you can see that I have added these wired pollens. So I have these pollen sticks. Back then when I used to do a lot of handmade flowers, I used to use these pollens to make the centers. So now what I do is just simply twirl them. You can use any kind of floral wire and add them in the back. This again elevates the project and gives it a nice, very nice effect. So I'm just going to twirl these and create few of them and just add them in the back. So before I do that, let's stick this portion and then let's stick this part, because then these two will be fixed and everything we can build around them. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this here eventually, and I just want to make sure everything is going properly. Yes, everything looks perfect here. So before sticking it, let's add some glue. Add this piece over here and one more of these over here, and just glue it. Now everything is glued properly together, and this one would come here. For this, again, add some glue. We made some of these nice swirls. Let's add them here and add it. Tuck this flower inside like this. Now the next step would be creating more flowers, like adding some more flowers on the side. So I have this nice flower which I can add here, and I can add like this. So this would complete the entire look, but I think I want a different color, so I'm going to tuck this particular one here, and I am going to tuck it like this. And let's add this flower, something like this here. Yeah, I want to make it almost similar to what I have been showing you. So here, and let's add this like here, and add this last flower onto here. So guys, as you can see, this part is done. Now let's see what will look nice submerging from the top. I think these look better because they would be really heavy. Like, it's a very small card. They're better for the layouts. So this looks pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this here and this one here, and we will paint that right now. So, oh, I'm so sorry guys, my camera has gotten off the frame. I can see it in the screen. I'm gonna erase this a little up here. Now you guys can see everything properly. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so this part is done, and the next part would be finishing it up by adding some more paint and gesso and everything all around. So for that, first we are gonna stick this and then color this. Okay, so I have added these two pieces. Okay, these two pieces are added. So let's paint these two pieces, and we're going to paint them in green because it will add a nice contrast. I'm going to take my paintbrush, add my paint, and drip it on top of it. These the clay absorbs paint really nicely and very quickly, so it's very easy to color these moldable pieces if you're using clay as your molding material. So once this is done, the next part, in the next step, I will add some stamping. So I'm just going to take black color ink and I will stamp it. So I have one of these Prima stamps. It is one of the old texture stamps. You can use any kind of texture stamp, and just simply take it and add it like this on the random corners of your creation. So this again adds more texture to your work. Now moving on, I'm gonna just add some art stones and some of our crystals, which again are a very nice way to enhance. So I'm gonna use this crystal. This one is particularly from our Misty Rose collection. You can use any collection with anything. Our collections, they blend very well with each other. I think okay, so I am gonna add this here, one of them here. So I've added my crystals, and next one I'm gonna just add my art stone, and that is again a very simple process. This is my favorite product from Prima, these art stones. What I do is I use soft gloss gel. You can use any kind of gel. You can even use what do you say, gesso, because gesso acts as an adhesive, and depending whether it is a clear gesso or a white gesso, it will dry up accordingly. So I'm just gonna spread this gloss in a random fashion and try to get this gloss within these flowers, so that I can, when I sprinkle art stones on it, they kind of just, they seem natural. They look like they have been you know, they're just coming from inside the flower. So just take your art stone and add it. See, and then once you have added, while it is still wet, you can actually create more textures like this. Like just take random paint from different sides and add it to all the corners. I'm going to do the same as I have done in this one to basically this corner. Actually, I'm going to do it to this corner. It will look more centered. And this is I have just simply used a soft gel. You can use it straight out of the jar or out of the tube. Okay, so here I'm gonna add this one. So guys, you can see that after adding art stones, the art piece gets a lot of definition and texture of its own. So these are a staple supplies. Like art stones are staple. If you like doing mixed media, the first thing you gotta buy is art stones. They are wonderful. Okay, so this seems pretty much similar to this one, but we are missing one thing, which is basically balancing everything out. And to balance everything out, what I do usually is I take some white gesso and I take our dabbing brush by Fenaber and simply just dab some white gesso on my project. So this blends everything. You can see this is going to be blending the entire project into one. It seems uniform. So, and one thing which I forgot to put in this one was this thread, which you can see in this one. You can't see it properly in this video because obviously it's a live stream, so it's not HD quality. But if you look at the image which we posted, there are thread structures coming outside from the flower. So I use simple thread, this thread which you use for sewing, and I create a small bunch like this and I tuck them inside the flowers. So for that, I just take some glue again and add some glue and add these inside. I should have done this earlier, but I'm going to try to do it right now. Paintbrush will come in handy. Okay. Just add them in a random fashion and they look very nice, and chop the excess. So here it gives some more texture to your mixed media pieces. So guys, as you can see, this is now completed, and this is done using our Pretty Mosaic collection, and this is done using our Surfboard collection. You can clearly see the contrast, and they look beautiful, both of them together. And I'm so happy that you guys joined me for this particular live. I couldn't be more grateful. And Debbie, your question is that you need the medium ones. Yes, they are really good, but you can use small and large too. They look equally nice. And thank you so much guys again for watching my video and coming to this live. I'm so sorry for some technical interruptions in the middle. I hope you all will have a wonderful day. I hope all of you are staying safe. And okay, Mela has asked me what product do you use to put the art stones. So I'm using soft gel. You can use any kind of gel. You can even use gesso to put art stones. You can post your questions here. I'll go over them and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Again, I want to thank you all for joining me, and have a wonderful and a blessed day, and stay safe.